Good morning. Here's today's New York Times. There are two stories on the front page which are equivalent in status. One is about the acquittal of 3 police officers in Tennessee in the beating to death of Tyre Nichols, an African-American man. It is very sad, and I'm afraid I cannot bring myself to read it on your behalf. I would urge you to check it out, but it's extremely depressing. The other story is about China hinting at playing hardball in trade talks with America. You will recall that over recent weeks, both sides in this trade war have been escalating tensions. I think our current tariff levels are 145% against Chinese goods, and China's retaliated with 125% tariff of its own. That's all fine in the academic sense, but right now we're starting to see the slowdown of ships coming into ports on the west coast of the US. Over the weekend, we saw kind of fairly damning quotes from the person who runs the Port of Los Angeles. And it's likely that we're going to start seeing shortages of retail goods over coming weeks. Nobody likes a breadline, not good politically. And if you don't happen to run a communist dictatorship, it can be very threatening to your power as an elected leader. So Trump has finally said to China, we'd love to have some trade talks. And the Chinese, yes, they really did impress upon the world that the US had blinked first. They're going to go and do this in Switzerland this weekend. Now, the pressure's on. You send people to do these talks. 2 things need to happen. They need to make some meaningful progress, and they need to de-escalate. That's all fine in theory, but you've got to remember that behind these negotiators, there's Donald Trump waving a gun around. He doesn't actually want progress in negotiations between the countries. I think what he wants is an easing of political pressure. He doesn't think long term. He's impulsive. We've seen he can be tremendously destructive to trade relations, and I think the majority of Americans believe that whatever happens in the negotiations, Trump will somehow sabotage the process to our collective detriment. So even if markets go up a little Monday morning, which again depends on how the talks go and what they say on Sunday, I wouldn't say they're going to keep going up for the next few months. They're going to do this again. And again, business doesn't like unpredictability. Bunch of companies on this past week have said they don't want to issue guidance to analysts because they just can't reliably predict how much money they're going to make. Mattel, Ford, these are big publicly listed companies, and ordinarily they would say to analysts, based on a certain set of circumstances, we can predict we're going to sell this much, we're going to make this much revenue, we're going to earn this much per share. Big toy maker, big car manufacturer saying they can't predict what's going to happen in the months ahead. That's terrible for business. It's terrible for stock markets. It's a damning indictment of the commander-in-chief. And, I'm so furious about him. The Boston Celtics went down last night 2-0 to the New York Knicks. The Celtics blew a 20-point lead for the second time in a row against the Knicks last night, and Miles Bridges did a block in the last seconds for the second time in a row. It was an incredible match to watch. Even though I only tuned in for the last 35 seconds, I got my money's worth. And it's really nice to see that the New York Knicks are once again resurgent against last year's champions. The Celtics are coming to Madison Square Garden on Saturday afternoon. Promises to be a rowdy atmosphere outside the ground. I may even go up there because the last time there was a rowdy atmosphere outside Madison Square Garden, it was a Trump rally in November last year, and I'd like to go there and create some positive memories if I can. Trade talks in Geneva this weekend. Let's hope they don't mess it up, eh? I'm Matt Davis. Thanks for letting me read the newspaper so that you don't have to. I appreciate your attention to global affairs, US affairs, and the front page of the newspaper. Have a great day, and I'll see you around. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, but soon.